Hare Krishna. Somebody can please lead the invocation prayers.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can do.
Correct.
Om Agyanatimirindasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padandikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Dalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinu Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming. So today we will cover Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 15, verses 37 to 50, and we will complete this Chapter 15. A quick announcement that if anyone is interested for a refresher on offenses to avoid, coming Saturday, May 4th, 11:15 a.m. Toronto time, which will be 8:45 p.m. India time, is the offenses to avoid class at batch 3 and 4 class using the same Zoom link as you joined today. So if anybody is interested, you can join. Today we will skip the key points and inquiries right now. We have a little fast pace and a longer class and a heavier class to cover. Time permits, towards the end, we will spend time on any inquiries from before. So the context or the recap in terms of where we are, that the Kumaras went to the spiritual world to see the Lord. By Lord's Yogmaya arrangement, Kumaras came to the doorstep of Vaikuntha, and Kumaras were stopped at gate number 7 by Jai and Vijay. Kumaras cursed Jai Vijay to go to live in the material world. Jai Vijay show their causeless mercy on the Kumaras because Jai Vijay are devotees. Devotees will never counter personal defamation. Because of the humble behavior of Jai Vijay, Jai Vijay fell at the feet of the Kumaras, and because of the mercy of Jai Vijay on Kumaras, the Kumaras realized their mistakes, that these Jai Vijay are actually devotees. And now, what we'll discuss today onwards is that the Lord will come to the gate and Lord will beg forgiveness from the Kumaras. And the Lord chastises Jai Vijay. By chastising Jai Vijay, the Lord is actually showing intimacy. And by begging forgiveness from the Kumaras, the Lord is keeping distance from the Kumaras. So Lord asking for forgiveness is not a very good reciprocation. Lord is saying that because you are Gyanis, you cannot be intimate with me like Jai Vijay. Therefore, Lord is actually chastising Jai Vijay because Lord has very close, intimate relationship with Jai Vijay. And Lord wanted to make Kumaras also as devotees, hence by Yogmaya's arrangement, Kumaras came to Vaikuntha. There is no reference that Kumaras entered the Vaikuntha. Rather, Lord came to the door and then the Kumaras went back from the door itself. Kumaras never entered Vaikuntha because Kumaras are not yet devotees. So last class we did discuss Dipanshu Prabhu's question about that these qualities of Kumaras getting angry seem to be on the lower modes. We did discuss briefly last class, and I'm just repeating that the Kumaras never entered Vaikuntha. Lord came to the door and then the Kumaras went back from the door itself. So we are on part 4, verses 37 to 45. The title is Lord arrived and gave darshan to the 4 Kumaras. Shivangi, verse 37, translation and purport.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, translation. At that very moment, the Lord, who is called Padmanabha because of the lotus grown from his navel, and who is the delight of the righteous, learned about the insult offered by his own servants to the saints. Accompanied by his spouse, the goddess of fortune, he went to the spot on those very feet sought for by recluses and great sages. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord declares that his devotee cannot be vanquished at any time. The Lord could understand that the quarrel between the doormen and the sages was taking a different turn, and therefore he instantly came out of his place and went to the spot to stop further aggravation, so that his devotees, the doormen, might not be vanquished for good. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So both Jai Vijay as well as the Kumaras expressed their humility towards each other. And this humility attracted the Lord to appear at that place. Lord appeared there to prove that bhakti alone attracts the Lord. As long as the argument was going on, Lord did not appear. But it was the humility of both Jai Vijay as well as the humility of Kumaras made the Lord to appear at that place. Both parties had committed offense against each other. The gravity of the offense is more for the Kumaras. Therefore, Kumaras could not rise to the Dasya Bhakti level, but Kumaras could only rise up to Shant Bhakti. Now, this actually of not being able to rise to the Dasya Bhakti is actually a great punishment onto the Kumaras. For Jai Vijay, the Lord wanted to teach the position of Brahmanas, that Brahmana position is superior, that although you are devotees, you should still be very careful in dealing with Brahmanas. This is what Krishna wanted to teach to Jai Vijay. And simultaneously, Lord wanted to teach to Kumaras what is meant by a devotee. You may be Jnani and exalted Brahmana, but still you should know how to deal with my devotees. So Lord always has multiple plans. Kumaras are Jnanis. They could not experience the bliss of Bhagwan realization. Hence, Krishna says, let me give them darshan so that these Kumaras can turn into devotees. Everybody with me so far? Shivangi?
Prabhuji, does that mean the Kumaras were not allowed to rise to the Dasya, like beyond that level, even after this pastime happened?
Yeah, so that's what Bhagavatam describes, that Kumaras could only rise up to Shant Bhakti level. Now, It is possible that in future something might have changed, because now Kumaras are actually head of one of the official 4 sampradayas. These same Kumaras are actually heading that sampradaya. In terms of what Bhagavatam describes, that because of this incident, Kumaras could only rise at that point in time up to Shant Bhakti level, not at the Dasya Bhakti level. Later on might have changed, which is actually, at least I have not read in Bhagavatam, but we also know the fact that the Kumaras are actually leading one of the sampradaya, which is actually service to Krishna. So things might have changed, but it's, at least I have not read in Bhagavatam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Shalini, verse 38, translation and purport.
Hare Krishna. The sages headed by Sanaka Rishi saw that the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who was formerly visible only with their hearts in ecstatic trance, had now actually become visible to their eyes. As he came forward, accompanied by his own associates, bearing all paraphernalia such as an umbrella and a Kamara fan, the white bunches of hair moved very gently like 2 swans, and due to their favorable breeze, the pearls garlanding the umbrella also moved like drops of nectar falling from the white full moon, or ice melting due to a gust of wind. Purport. In this word, we find the word Achakshaka Shaksa Vishyam. The Supreme Lord cannot be seen by ordinary eyes, but he now became visible to the eyesight of the Kumaras. Another significant word is Samadhi Bhagyam. Meditators who are very fortunate can see the Vishnu form of the Lord within their hearts by following the yogic process, but to see him face to face is a different matter. This is only possible for pure devotees. The Kumaras, therefore, upon seeing the Lord coming forward with his associates, who were holding an umbrella and a Kamara fan, were struck with wonder that they were seeing the Lord face to face. It is said in the Brahma Samhita that devotees, being elevated in love of God, always see Shama Sundara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, within their hearts. But when they are mature, the same God is visible before them face to face. For ordinary persons, the Lord is not visible. However, when one can understand the significance of his holy name and one engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord, beginning with the tongue by chanting and tasting prasada, and gradually the Lord reveals himself. Thus, the devotee constantly sees the Lord within his heart, and in a more mature stage, one can see the same Lord directly as we see everything else. Hare Krishna.
So it is not possible for yogis to have the darshan of the Lord. Only for fortunate souls, darshan is possible. Next few verses describe the beautiful form of the Lord. Many places in Srimad Bhagavatam, it's described that as soon as devotees witness the beautiful darshan of the Lord, devotees glorify the Lord when they see the Lord. For example, Shiva, Dhruv Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, Kardamana Muni, they all glorify the Lord. Example, Kardamana Muni says that he saw Kastuba jewel, the crocodile-shaped earrings, the Srivatsaka mark, the four-handed form, the dark bluish cloud-like color of the transcendental body, yellow color, silken dhoti, golden crown. All these features are described many places in Srimad Bhagavatam and here also. And we'll read and we can also use this same points for our own meditation as well. Mother Jija, verse 39, translation and purport, paragraph 1.
Text 39. Translation. The Lord is the reservoir of all pleasure. His auspicious presence is meant for everyone's benediction, and his affectionate, smiling and glancing touch the core of the heart. The Lord's beautiful bodily color is blackish, and his broad chest is the residing place of the goddess of fortune, who glorifies the entire spiritual world, the summit of all heavenly planets. Thus, it appeared that the Lord was personally spreading the beauty and fortune of the spiritual world. Oh, but when the Lord came, he was pleased with everyone. Therefore, it is stated here, Krishna Prasada Sumukham. The Lord knew that even the offensive domain were his pure devotees, although by chance they committed an offense at the feet of the other devotees. To commit an offense against the devotee is very dangerous in devotional service. Lord Chaitanya therefore said that an offense to a devotee is just like a mad elephant run loose. When a mad elephant enters a garden, it tramples all the plants. Similarly, an offense unto the feet of the pure devotee murders one's position for devotional service. On the part of the Lord, there was no offended mood because he does not accept any offense created by his sincere devotee. But a devotee should be very cautious of committing offenses at the feet of another devotee. The Lord, being equal to all and being especially inclined to his devotee, looked as mercifully at the offenders as at the offended. This attitude of the Lord was due to his unlimited quantity of transcendental qualities. His cheerful attitude towards the devotees was so pleasing and heart-touching that his very smile was attractive for them. That attraction was glorious not only for all the higher planets of this material world, but beyond, for the spiritual world also. Generally, a human being has no idea of what the constitutional position is in the higher material planets, which are far better constituted in regard of all paraphernalia. Yet the Vaikuntha planet is so pleasing and so celestial that it is compared to the middle jewel or locket in the necklace of jewels. Hare Krishna.
So the Lord is pleased with both parties because both parties expressing humility to each other. Hence, Srila Prabhupada has also said that your love for me is by how much you all cooperate with each other. Then Srila Prabhupada becomes pleased and hence Krishna also gets pleased. By humble nature of devotees towards each other, that pleases Krishna. Offenses against a devotee is a very big problem. Kumaras are thinking that Lord may become angry because we offended devotee Jai Vijay. Jai Vijay only stopped us. But Kumaras were thinking that the position to Jai Vijay is given by the Lord. But we Kumaras, we are cursing them to go to material world without actually having this authority. Hence, Kumaras were thinking that our offense is very grave. And Jai Vijay, they are thinking that we have offended Brahmanas. And they know that Brahmanas' curse cannot be countered. Hence, we may not be able to taste Lord's sweetness again. And Jai Vijay, they got agitated that in the material world, we will be in forgetfulness of the Lord. And this is why the Lord came and the Lord smiled. And the Lord is saying to Jai Vijay that you will not forget me. Rather, you will remember me in anger mood, and very soon you will come back to me. Lord smiled and pacified both parties that don't worry, this is all my arrangement by Yog Maya. Lord's smile shows pacification. Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I had a question. You just mentioned that the Lord says that tells Jai Vijay that you will remember me in an anger mood. What does that mean, Prabhu?
So you can serve the Lord in various rasa. There are 5 primary rasa and then 7 secondary rasa. So we'll cover this in upcoming chapters for this unit, that how Jai Vijay will go on to become Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, that Lord will come and fight with them. So that's the anger mood that they are having. This Jai Vijay will have this secondary rasa of anger, and that's how they will remember the Lord. It's again eye-opener chapters, upcoming chapters, that how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has commented that Jai Vijay in the demoniac life, they actually had a glorious demoniac life. I mean, the word glorious and demoniac do not go together, but we'll discuss as we go along. But I'm hoping, does that help you?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
This is actually a created plan by the Lord according to the next chapter, which clearly says that this Lord enjoys fighting, and therefore he created this entire scenario.
You are correct.
And another clarification I see from you: offenses at the feet of another devotee. That sentence, can you elaborate what exactly?
Yeah, so there are many offenses. As I said at the start, that next Saturday is an opportunity to get a refresher on the offenses to avoid class. So there are many offenses, and one of the greatest offenses is to offend a devotee. That somehow you mishandled a devotee or spoke something incorrectly or became angry on a devotee. Those are just examples. There can be many other. And Krishna does not tolerate when you offend a devotee. And the result of offenses we have discussed, that is like punching holes in a cup where you are accumulating your devotional water. So your devotional credits will drain out. Does that help you?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So verses 40, 41, and 42, they are describing the beautiful features of the Lord. Dipanshu Prabhu, verse 40, 41, 42 translations.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Verse 14. He was adorned with girdle that shone brightly on the yellow cloth covering his large hips, and he wore a garland of fresh flowers which was distinguished by humming bees. His lovely wrists were graced with bracelets, and he rested one of his hands on the shoulder of Garuda, his career, and twirled a lotus with another hand. Text 41. His countenance was distinguished by cheeks that enhanced the beauty of his alligator-shaped pendants, which outshone lightning. His nose was prominent and his head was covered with a gem-studded crown. A charming necklace hung between his stout arms, and his neck was adorned with the gem known by name Kaustubh. The exquisite beauty of Narayan, being many times magnified by the intelligence of his devotees, was so attractive that it defeated the pride of the goddess of fortune in being the most beautiful. My dear demigods, the Lord who thus manifested himself in worshipable by me is worshipable by me, by Lord Shiva, and by all of you. The sages regarded him with unsated eyes and joyously bowed their heads at his lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
So devotees, they do so much work all day to please Krishna, and at end of the day, they do not want anything. They do not want any recognition. What devotees want is just to get darshan of the beautiful form of Gopinath. Lord smiles at the devotees. And for devotees, this smiling reciprocation makes the devotee happy. By this devotee's happiness, Lord's smile increases and goes on and on. And Srila Prabhupada says, this is transcendental competition between the Lord and the servants, the devotees. Lord's beauty increases by having reciprocation with the devotees. Verse number 43 is a very, very beautiful verse and a key memorization verse, that how Kumaras, who are Gyanis, they turned into devotees. So I will play the recitation of this verse from a devotee from Mayapur, because it's really, really beautiful, and the devotee has also recited beautifully. I am sure many of you would like to listen to this recitation again, but let me first play for the first time, and then we will also recite one line at a time. Let's focus and try to absorb this verse. It's a really, really beautiful verse. So 3.15.43, let's hear from the Mayapur devotee.
3.15.43 तस्यारविन्दनयनस्य पदारविन्द किञ्जल्कमिश्रतुलसी मकरन्दवायु अन्तर्गतः स्वविवरेण चकार तेषां संक्षोभमक्षरजुषामपि चित्ततनवोः.
Is that a beautiful recitation of the verse?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Very nice.
Would you like to listen to it again?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu, of course. Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
3.15.43 तस्यारविन्दनयनस्य पदारविन्द किञ्जल्कमिश्रतुलसी मकरन्दवायु अन्तर्गतः स्वविवरेण चकार तेषां संक्षोभमक्षरजुषामपि चित्ततनवोः.
I have heard this so many times. This rings in my head again and again and again. Of course, the verse is beautiful, plus the devotee has recited also so beautifully. It just sticks on you. So as part of the Bhakti Vaibhav Srimad Bhagavatam course, so we are also supposed to memorize and recite for the exam. So therefore we have such recitation, so it becomes slightly easier for us to practice. Okay, are you ready to recite one line at a time after me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, 3.15.43. Tasya padaravinda
Tasya Padaravinda
Kinjal kamishra tulsi makaranda vayu
Kinjal Kamishya Tulasi Makaranda Vayu
Antargata swavivarena chakaratesham
Antargata Savivarena Chakara Desham
Samshokamaksharjusam apichittatanvo
Shamshogamaksharajusam Pichittatanvo.
Kalyani, translation please.
When the priest carrying the aroma of tulasi leaves from the toes of the lotus feet of personality of Godhead entered the nostrils of those sages, they experienced a change both in body and in mind, even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding.
Purport also.
Purport. It appears from this verse that the four Kumaras were impersonalists or protagonists of the philosophy of monism, becoming one with the Lord. But as soon as they saw the Lord's features, their minds changed. In other words, the impersonalist who feels transcendental pleasure in striving to become one with the Lord is defeated when he sees the beautiful transcendental features of the Lord. Because of the fragrance of his lotus feet, carried by the air and mixed with the aroma of tulasi, their minds changed. Instead of becoming one with the Supreme Lord, they thought it wise to be devotees. Becoming a servitor of the lotus feet of the Lord is better than becoming one with the Lord. Hare Krishna.
The last line in the purport is the golden line. To become a servitor of the Lord is better than becoming one with the Lord. So Kumaras were Gyanis. Still, they turned into devotees by smelling the aroma of the Tulsi Maharani, which is offered to the Lord's lotus feet. Therefore, nectar of devotion glorifies all 64 items of bhakti. So chapter 6 has a laundry list of the 64 items in nectar of devotion, where it says some of the simple items, simply by taking charnamrit, simply by taking darshan, seeing the smiling form of the beautiful Lord, anybody can get benefited. Example, simply by seeing the Rath Yatra, ordinary materialistic people, they get benefited. These materialistic people, they may be walking on the street unknowingly, or they may just be doing shopping on the street where Rath Yatra is passing through. And they just look at the beautiful form or listen to the kirtan or glorify the dancing of the devotees, and all these materialistic people, they get agyat sukruti. All these items, they give benefits to ordinary materialistic people. And these ordinary materialistic people can escape the cycle of birth and death. So this is what the Lord wanted to show that even a small aspect of bhakti, such as smelling the Tulsi Marani, one can become a devotee. When sweetness of Lord's body produced in them the level of astonishment, which was much higher than the bliss of Brahman realization, this penetrated within them what can be said being touching something related to the limb of the Lord, and this made the Kumaras fall from the position of Brahman realization and produced great agitation in them. When I say fall, means they moved away from the Brahman realization, and we'll soon discuss that how they come to Bhagwan realization. So the wind carrying the aroma of Tulsi Marani combined with the red and white of Lord's toenails, like filaments on lotus, entered the sage's mind. Now the smell entered through the nostrils, and the smell entered their mind without the permission. And isn't this improper to enter their minds without permission? Just as it is improper for Kumaras and others to enter into someone else's inner chambers. So nostrils are natural holes for the air. The air entered their nostrils. So whose permission does the air need? What happened when the air entered? Their mind and bodies became agitated. First, the mind became very much agitated from the changes arising from the bliss. So this agitation is a positive agitation of the mind. Then next, the body became agitated with tears and hair standing at end and perspiration. So we have discussed in Nectar of Devotion, chapters 17 and 18, that these are symptoms of bhava bhakti, such as body trembling, hair standing at the end, perspiration, etc. Persons desiring to enter another's country, first they kill the leader, they plunder the place, they disturb the place, then they conquer with the troops. So the Kumaras were fixed in the bliss of Brahman. Why should the bliss of realizing Bhagwan made them identify with the Lord, even though they had been practicing the contact with Brahman? The point is that the bliss of Bhagwan was more powerful because of Lord's sweetness. Pretty important and a pretty heavy verse. Questions, comments, realizations?
Respiration without air, it is automatic, First of all, without oxygen through respiration, the mind will collapse. Similarly, here Tulsi aroma, Mother Tulsi aroma, need not have the permission. It is automatic. That is my perception.
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
you are correct that that the nostrils are the natural holes for the air. The air does not need anyone's permission. And the air penetrated through the mind and the heart and transformed the Kumaras from being Gyanis to go on to become to devotees.
I wish to share with you. Yeah, since 1 year we have been wanting to get a plant because the previous plant very kindly donated to us by Shalini. When we went away, it was not managed by the people whom we interested. Yesterday, Saturday, Bhagwan's day, we got a Tulsi plant.
Very good. Yeah, so water Tulsi Marani every day. And it is one of the 64 items of devotional service. You can read it in Nectar of Devotion. Very good. So, part 5 of this chapter, although it starts from verse number 46 on the prayers of Kumaras to the Lord, this verse number 44 and 45 can also be part of part 5, as these are transition verses that in this verse number 44 and 45, Kumaras got the darshan of the Lord, and then they start offering prayers to the Lord. So Acharyas, some Acharyas put these verses as part of the prayers, and some leave it. I mean, either way, they are just transition verses. Mother Chandra Aunty, verse 44 translation.
Text 44. The Lord's beautiful face appeared to them like the inside of the blue lotus, and the Lord's smile appeared to be a blossoming jasmine flower. After seeing the face of the Lord, the sages were fully satisfied, and when they wanted to see him further, they looked upon the nails of his lotus feet, which resembles rubies. Thus they viewed the Lord's transcendental body again and again, and so they finally achieved meditation of the Lord's personal feature. Text 45.
Hold on. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has a beautiful commentary on this verse, although there is no purport in the Bhagavatam. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that how the aroma of Tulsi Marani first purified the life air of Kumaras, and then the senses got purified because the senses are dependent on the prana. Senses are dependent on the life air. So first, the life air got purified, and then the senses also got purified. And then the senses started experiencing sweetness of the Lord. So different senses of the Kumaras, such as eyes, ears, nose, started experiencing the sweetness of the Lord's form. You recall our discussion from Canto 1, chapter 5 and 6, where Narad Muni also saw the beautiful form of the Lord and experienced how each of his senses got purified, and there's a similar discussion in Canto 1, chapter 5 and 6 also. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, the Kumaras lost control because of the friction created by the bliss. Kumaras started to experience so much bliss. The Kumaras wanted to experience the sweetness of all the limbs of the Lord's body simultaneously. But the Kumaras were disturbed, agitated, and they lost control because of the aroma of Tulsi Maharani. So all these points here, such as friction or mind agitated or disturbed and lost control, they are actually said in a positive sense. So all this was possible for the Kumaras because Kumaras were already blessed. Kumaras got blessings from Brahmaji, from Narad Muni, and now from Jai Vijay. Jai Vijay showed them how to behave like a devotee, how to practice humility. And the blessings of all these is acting now. Hence, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, if you want mercy of the Lord, then first get mercy of the devotees. Kumaras, they took darshan of the lotus feet and they could not remove their eyes from the lotus feet to another limb of the Lord. Even when the Kumaras wanted to take darshan of another limb of the Lord, but they could not remove their eyes from the lotus feet of the Lord. So first the Kumaras could not experience the sweetness of all the limbs of the Lord simultaneously. Kumaras then started to meditate on each of the limbs of the Lord. And Kumaras got attracted by all the limbs of the Lord one by one. So Kumaras having received mercy of the devotees, such as Brahmaji, Narad Muni, Jai Vijay, hence Kumaras could take darshan of the Lord. This is the key point, that only by mercy of the devotees one can achieve bhakti. Although Kumaras got transformed from impersonal conception to the personal conception of the Lord, still Kumaras attained only Shant Bhakti and not pure Dasya Bhakti because of their offense to Jai Vijay. Questions, comments, realizations? Verse number 45 is, this is the form of the Lord for meditation. Uncle, if you can please read verse 45 translation.
Hare Krishna. Verse number 45. This is the form of the Lord, which is meditated upon by the followers of yoga process. and it is pleasing to the yogis in meditation. It is not imaginary but factual, as proved by great yogis. The Lord is full in 8 kinds of achievement, but for others, these achievements are not possible in full perfection. Hare Krishna.
So the purport is pretty long. I will explain important points. It is also a very important purport. So this is the form of the Lord. They saw this form, who is the object of meditation for those seeking liberation by following the Ashtanga Yoga process. Ashtanga Yogi meditates on the super soul. Super soul means the four-handed form of Narayan. Ashtanga Yogi, if they achieve perfection, their aim is to see the four-handed Narayan form in the heart. That same form, Kumaras could see the same form directly. Now, Lord is full in 8 kinds of achievements which are not possible for others. Now, some acharyas have said that because this verse is talking about Ashtanga Yoga, hence the 8 kinds of achievements or siddhis is related to Ashtanga yogis. And some acharyas have said that these 8 kinds of achievements are related to the Lord. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, he also says both sides. He refers to how some acharya says 8 siddhis for Ashtanga Yogi and 8 siddhis for the Lord. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also references the same point, that 8 siddhis can refer to the 8 siddhis of Ashtanga Yogi. But then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur goes on to clarify that here these 8 are referring to the 8 perfections of the Lord. In Canto 11, the Uddhav Gita section, Krishna explains to Uddhava that actually there are 18 mystic siddhis. Generally, we have always heard about the 8 siddhis. So there are 8 primary siddhis, and then there are 10 secondary siddhis. I will only give you the listing of 8 primary siddhis. Right now, I don't have the secondary siddhis right now. So the 8 primary siddhis are Anima, Mahima, Lagina, Prapti, Prakamya Ishita, Vashita, and Kama Vashishta. Now, we won't get into the details of this because they are for Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is not the yoga process for this Kali Yuga. Now, the 8 kinds of achievements by the Lord. Lord is endowed with his own 8 perfections arising from his Swarupa, which are natural and eternal. the 8 achievements of the Lord, the first 5 are sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. So it's easy to remember these 5. The 5 sense objects is the easy way to remember. The next 3 are mercy, action, and power. Devotees can experience the first 7 of these 8 items. The 8th item of power is generally experienced only by the aspirants of liberation. So I will now briefly describe these 8 kinds of achievements of the Lord. First is sound, the sweet voice of the Lord. Devotees can experience the sweet voice of Krishna. Second is touch, the softness of the form. Devotees can experience the softness of Krishna. Third is form, the beautiful form. Devotees can experience the sweetness of Lord's beauty. Fourth is taste. Devotee can experience sweetness and affection towards the devotee. Krishna wants to be under the control of his pure devotees. This is Krishna's nature. Fifth is smell, fragrance. Just as Kumaras got the fragrance of the aroma of Tulsi Marani. Sixth is mercy. Mercy is also affection. Krishna's one of the name is Achyuta. That is, one meaning is infallible, and the other that never fails in expressing affection towards his devotees. Seventh item is action. Action means pastimes, activities of the Lord. So devotees can experience all these 7 achievements of the Lord. The 8th item is power. So we know the 6 opulences of the Lord. These are Aishwarya of the Lord. That one who has the 6 opulences in full is called as Bhagwan. So Aishwarya, or the opulences, is experienced by the aspirants of liberation. The first 7 items are experienced by devotees, and the 8th item of Aishwarya experienced by aspirants of liberation. I will pause here for any questions, comments, realizations.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Right.
Prabhu, what we have already heard is the absolute pure devotee does not even desire liberation, Prabhu.
You are correct.
So who is this particular devotee or aspirant who wants liberation?
So you will know Jnani, they are aspiring for liberation. So they may get Brahman realization where the opulences may get revealed there. Those who are aspirants of liberation, they may experience the opulences. But you are absolutely correct that pure devotees are not worried about liberation. They are only worried about service.
So, Prabhu, here we are referring to the Jnanis and Ashtanga yogis, Prabhu, right?
Yeah, you are correct.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody on the same page? The heavier discussion has already happened. I'm pretty sure has been little heavy. The rest of the verses are just prayers, not just prayers, but they are just prayers of Kumaras. Heavier discussion so far. Everybody on the same page?
Prabhuji, would you please repeat only this sector? 8 primary siddhis.
Yeah, I can repeat. So the 8 kinds of achievements of the law can refer to the 8 siddhis of Ashtanga Yogi. The 8 primary siddhis of Ashtanga Yogi are Anima, Mahima, Lagina, Prapti, Prakamya Ishita, Vashita, and Kama Vashita. We won't get into the details. The 8 kinds of achievements of the Lord are his natural Swarupa, and these are also eternal. First is sound, the sweet voice. Devotee can experience the sweet voice of Krishna. Second is touch, the softness of the form. Devotee can experience the softness of Krishna. Third is the beautiful form. Devotee can experience the sweetness of his beauty. Fourth is taste. Devotee can experience sweetness and affection towards the devotee by the Lord. Hence, Krishna wants to be under the control of his pure devotee. Fifth is smell, fragrance. Just as Kumaras got the aroma of Tulsi Marani. Sixth is mercy, means affection. Krishna's name Achyuta refers to being infallible, that never fails in expressing affection towards his devotees. Seventh is action or pastimes or activities of the Lord. Devotees can experience all these 7 achievements of the Lord. Eighth is power or the 6 opulences or the Aishwarya of the Bhagwan. And these Aishwarya can be experienced by the aspirants of liberation. Everybody on the same page?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, just one thing to clarify or just to add. So, Prabhu, these all the 7 is possible by only those devotees who have perfected any of the 5 Dasya Rasas, no, Prabhu?
You are correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Part 5 is verses 46 to 50. Prayers of the Kumaras to the Lord. Chandran Prabhu, verse 46 translation.
Hare Krishna. Text 46. The Kumaras said, "Our dear Lord, you are not manifested to rascals, even though you are seated within the heart of everyone. But as far as we are concerned, we see you face to face, although you are unlimited. The statements we have heard about you from our father Brahma through the years have now been actually realized by your kind appearance." Text 47.
Hold on. So Kumaras are saying that earlier we took darshan through our ears because Brahmaji glorified you. And now today we see you face to face by our eyes. Prabhupada explains that anyone who thinks Krishna does not have form, they are Duratma, means one with crooked heart. Mahatma means one who has broad heart. Mahatma or broad-hearted devotees can meditate on the four-handed form of Narayan. But those with crooked heart, they cannot meditate on the Lord. Sridhar Prabhu, verse 47 translation. Sridhar Prabhu. Gopal Prabhu, 47 translation.
Hare Krishna. Text 47 translation. We know that you are the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, who manifests his transcendental form in the uncontaminated mode of pure goodness. This transcendental, eternal form of your personality can be understood only by your mercy, through unflinching devotional service, by great sages whose hearts have been purified in the devotional way. Hare Krishna.
So the key point is that by your mercy, we can take darshan of you. Kumaras are saying that by Lord's mercy, we have become devotees, though we were jnanis. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains the three levels of realization, so Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and Bhagwan realization. Chandran Prabhu, verse 48 translation.
Hare Krishna. 48. Persons who are very expert and most intelligent in understanding things as they are engaged in hearing narrations of the auspicious activities and pastimes of the Lord, which are worth chanting and worth hearing. Such persons do not care even for the highest material benedictions, namely liberation, to say nothing of other less important benedictions like the material happiness of the heavenly kingdom.
The intelligent devotees, they follow the simple hearing process. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport quotes Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23, the 9 processes of bhakti, that one can achieve perfection by any of these 9 processes of bhakti. Srila Prabhupada also quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, the Kardamuni and devotee about the 4 kinds of liberation. And then in 3.29.13. So some of you were there in yesterday's class where we read this verse. So 3.29.13 is the state of pure devotees. The pure devotee says that if I don't get opportunity to serve the Lord, then what is the point of these 4 kinds of liberation? Why 4 kinds? Because the 5th kind, the Sayujya, devotees anyway don't accept. And Devahuti also says to Lord Kapila is not different than Krishna, that devotees do not accept any kind of liberation, even if the Lord personally gives those liberation to the devotee, if these are devoid of devotional service. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada says that devotee rejects all kinds of liberation, then what to speak of rejecting sense gratification? Questions, comments, realizations? Dipanshu Prabhu, verse 49 and 50 translations.
49 and 50, right?
Correct.
O Lord, we pray that you let us be born in any hellish condition of life, just as long as our hearts and minds are always engaged in the service of your lotus feet. Our words are made beautiful by speaking of your activities, just as tulsi leaves are beautified when offered unto your lotus feet. And as long as our ears are always filled with the chanting of your transcendental qualities. Text 50. O Lord, we therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto your eternal form as the personality of Godhead, which you have so kindly manifested before us. Your supreme eternal form cannot be seen by unfortunate, less intelligent persons, but we are so much satisfied in our mind and vision to see it. Hare Krishna.
So the Kumaras are saying that let us be born in hellish condition, because the Kumaras are assuming that because of the offenses, Lord will punish them. Hence, Kumaras are saying that please engage us in service. So Kumaras were impersonalist and they got transformed to devotees. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 15th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Description of the Kingdom of God. Questions, comments, realizations? Okay. 4 homework questions. First, why did the Lord immediately appear after the doorman had been cursed? Comes from verse number 37. Second, what was the qualification of the 4 Kumaras that enabled them to see the Lord directly. Comes from verse number 46 and 50. Third is an analogy. The holes of the ears are like the sky. As the sky can never be filled up, the quality of the ear is such that one may go on pouring in vibrations of various kinds, yet it is capable of receiving more and more vibrations. Comes from verse number 49. Fourth is for next class. Read Canto 3, Chapter 16.
Prabhuji, kindly repeat the third homework.
Okay. Third question is the analogy. The holes of the ears are like the sky. As the sky can never be filled up, the quality of the ear is such that one may go on pouring in vibrations of various kinds, yet it is capable of receiving more and more vibrations. Comes from verse 49.
Thank
So as I announced at the start that if anyone is interested for a refresher on the offenses to avoid, coming Saturday, May 4th, 11:15 a.m. Toronto time, which will be 8:45 p.m. India time, is the offenses to avoid class at the batch 3 and 4 Nectar of Devotion class. Please join. You can use the same Zoom link. Are we okay to stop here?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I just had a question.
Yeah.
This is just a clarification. So the doorman Jai Vijay, although they were at Shuddha Sattva level, pure goodness in the spiritual world, still there is a possibility to make mistake, Prabhu, the way they made.
So you cannot generalize this because this was Lord's specific plan. That Lord planned all of this for multiple reasons. That first was to make the Kumaras as devotees, to show that how even the tiniest of bhakti process can transform someone. And Lord also has this fighting desire, but there is no one to fight in the spiritual world. Therefore, Lord planned this Leela to have Jai Vijay get cursed and they go on to become demons, so that the Lord fights with them. Otherwise, for devotees, there is no fighting. I mean, so you cannot generalize this statement that it is possible to fall down. It is not possible. But then again, Lord may have a specific Leela to play, and he can do anything he wants. Shalini?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Got it.
Mother Chandra Aunty has to say something.
No, Prabhu. Thank you.
Are we okay to stop here?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare
Yes, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you,
everybody.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.